day, everyone. Good day. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? If you can hear me loud and clear, please drop a comment. You're welcome to today's live stream. You're welcome. You're welcome. How has been trading this week? Mine has been great. This week has been very profitable for me. Been very profitable. How is it going at your end? How is it going at your end? If you have any question, please drop it in the comment section. If there's any pair you want me to analyze, you are welcome. You're welcome. If you can hear me loud, please drop a comment. Confirm you can hear me loud and clear and see the screen. How has been trading this week? Comments. I want to be sure you can hear me. I want to be sure you can see my screen. Ebuka, good morning. Good morning. So let's start by looking at the calendar for today. Today is 3rd of September 2025. All right. So please, if you have any question or any pair you want me to analyze, just drop it in the comment section. Okay, so I want us to look at the calendar for today. So at the early hours of today, Australian dollar, Australia relates GDP data. It was positive for Australian dollar. It was positive for Australian dollar. So if you're considering trading Australian dollar this morning, you should be considering buying Australian dollar. Okay, you should be considering buying Australian dollar. Okay, Australian dollar is the by this morning, okay? And by 2:15 p.m., everything monetary policy reports hearings will hold by 2:15 p.m. and by 3 p.m. job opening for the United States will be released. The previous was 7.44 million and the forecast is 7.38 million. So they are expecting a decrease. They're expecting a decrease of jobs job opening. Okay, so if the actual comes out positive, it's positive for the dollar. We should expect more buys on the dollar. Okay, if the higher than the forecast, we should expect more buys on the dollar. And if it's negative for the dollar, should expect sales on the dollar. But technically, my bias for the dollar is bullish. Technically, it is bullish. So I would love to see the news favor the dollar. I'd love to see the news favor the dollar. So I would love to see the actual value greater than the forecast. That's my expectation, so that I can sell GBP USD, Euro USD, Australian dollar USD, and NZD USD. Okay, that's my take for the dollar. Technically, I'm bullish. So if the data comes out positive for the dollar, that would be good for me. That would be good. Okay, so let's go to the charts. We'll start by looking at dollar index and yen basket. This is yen basket. So you guys on Monday that yen will be bearish this week. So you guys, yen will be bearish this week. And as you can see, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, yen has been bearish. Yen has been bearish. I said this on Monday. Monday, JPY will be bearish, and it stayed bearish. It's likely going to sweep the liquidity residing at this low. That's my expectation for yen. That's my expectation on yen. There's a probability price will come and sweep the liquidity residing at this low. Let's see the weekly. Okay, you can see the low of this candle most likely be used as liquidity. And also all these lows here, there are a lot of stop orders here, a lot of sell orders here, okay, there are a lot of sell orders here, and this fair value gap that has not been filled, yen is likely going to come and fill this gap. So that's my expectation on yen. This is the first target, second target, and the third target. That's my take on yen. If you have any question, any pair you want me to analyze, let me know. Let me know in the comment section. So I am still bearish on the yen. I'm still bearish on the yen. I took a trade on GBP JPY yesterday, I think around 5-6 p.m. Currently buying GBP JPY, and it's a massive profit. It's a massive profit. I gave the call to those in the private community yesterday, and most of them took advantage of that trade. And they also are massive. They are massive profits. They are massive profits. For those of you who took the trade yesterday, by now you should be closing partials. Close partials on GJ. It's close 60 to 70% of whatever profit you've made on GJ right now. And if you also adjust your stop loss. Okay, let's look at GJ. I will analyze GJ and tell you where you should adjust your stop loss to. Okay, for those of you who took advantage of the trade. So let's see yen basket DXY dollar index. Not advisable to execute trade on dollar pairs without knowing the trend on dollar index. Without knowing the trend on dollar index, you'll be trading blindly if you don't analyze DXY before executing trade on USD pairs. Okay, so you can see what we had on yen basket. This is the weekly time frame. Last week candle closed as an inverted hammer. It closed as an inverted hammer. The previous week also closed as an inverted hammer. The low of the previous week, as 2 weeks ago, right? The low was respected, you can see. So I think what played out this week, the first thing they did this week was to sweep the liquidity residing at the low of last week. And also I think they touched this low. That was what played out yesterday. Has played out the month far this week. They swept the liquidity, and on Tuesday I said dollar index will be bullish. And so you can see the pattern we had yesterday. You can see we had what looks like a spinning, and the next candle closed as engulfing. It engulfed the candle. And we can see there is a little rejection from this resistance right now. This is the reason for the rejection. Okay, this is the reason price is pulling back. Okay, this resistance area, or you call it your supply area, is the reason for the pullback you're seeing on DXY, which is expected. Is likely because after this engulfing, you go down to lower time frame. I'm sure gap was created. I'm sure a fair value gap was created. Okay, so you can see we have this fair value gap on. You can see the fair value gap on 4-hour time. This is where you should be looking for your buy. This is where you should be looking for your buys of DX. Okay, that's it on 4-hour. Let's see 1-hour time frame. Okay, so on 1 hour. Also, we have this fair value gap here. Okay, to consider buying dollar. You can't buy dollar from the current market price. You can see what we had here, this low. They attempted to fill this fair value gap at this point. They didn't fill it completely, and they know most retail traders would have executed buy after the formation of this hammer candle, and their stop losses will be residing at this low. So there's a high probability they're going to sweep this low before going bullish. That's what I see playing out on dollar index today. So my buyer still remains bullish. And also a lot of traders would have executed sell after the formation of this shooting star. Many traders would have executed sell. And where would they have their stop loss? Their stop loss is residing at this side. So sell side liquidity for today's market, this is it. This is the sell side liquidity. And this is the buy side liquidity. Remember, liquidity resides at previous highs and previous lows. So this is the buy side liquidity, okay, for today's market. This is the sell side liquidity. So it's either the first sweep sell side before going for buy side, okay, and that's my expectation. I want to see the sell side liquidity swept, okay, before I will go bullish on DXY. That's my expectation. That's my expectation. Good morning, Chichi. Good morning. Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining. Any question? Is there any pair you want me to analyze? Let me know in the comment section. Okay, so let's look at currency pairs. Let's start with GBP USD. GBP USD. Okay, so if we are bullish on DXY, we should look for sales on GBP USD. We should look for sales on GBP USD. So far on GBP USD, what has been playing out on GBP USD? They are creating liquidity. They are creating liquidity. This is the liquidity for GU. This is liquidity. This is liquidity. These are the buy side liquidity, sell side liquidity. Okay, so if we are bullish on the dollar, we want to sell GBP USD. We want to sell GBP USD. So at the moment, GBP USD is neither bullish nor bearish. So if I want to take any risk on GBP USD this morning, it will be a buy. Okay. If I want to take any risk on GBP USD, it will be a buy. It will be a buy. In London session, it will be a buy. But before buying, if I would take the risk, I would like to see price pull back to a discount area. You can see on 15 minutes time frame, we have this fair value gap here on 15 minutes time frame. So if I want to buy GBP USD, this would be my entry area. This zone, this is where I would consider buying GBP USD. This is where I would consider buying GBP USD. I can't buy from this price. The reason is that if I buy from this price, the risk will be high. This is where I will set my stop loss. 1.3333. And the difference from the current market price, the risk from the current market price is about 70 pips. I'm not willing to risk 70 pips on a trade. That risk is too high. But if price pulls back to this area and I buy from this area, my stop loss would reduce, my risk will reduce to about 30 pips. My risk will reduce to 30 pips. Are you getting me? So this is where I might consider buying. If I see my setup here, if I see my pattern here, my bullish pattern here, my zigzag indicator must be below a candle in this zone for me to buy. If I don't see it, I will not buy GBP USD. But for today, tomorrow, I'm still bullish on the dollar. And let me show you where I am considering selling GBP USD. This is where I'm considering selling GBP USD. See this liquidity void? This liquidity void, this fair value gap, this is where I will be looking for my sales on GBP USD. So this is my sell zone for GBP USD. This is my sell zone for GBP USD. My sell zone, this is my buy zone. I hope that is clear. I hope that is clear. I hope that is clear. Okay. Buy from this zone. Your TP should be at this zone. Sell from this zone. That is my expectation on this is sell. And this is sell and this is buy. Okay, so that's it for GBP USD. Which other pair do you want me to analyze? Which other pair? Which other pair? Let me know in the comment section which other pair do you want me to analyze. Which other pair do you want me to analyze? Okay, let's see Euro USD, Euro USD. You can see the pattern we have on Euro USD. Do I need to analyze Euro USD? I don't have to. The pattern we have on Euro USD is similar to what we have on GBP USD. Okay, they are positively correlated. So on Euro USD, if I want to buy, I would like to see price pull back to fill the fair value gap it's created on 15 minutes. Let's see. So this is where I'll be considering buying Euro USD if I want to buy. Okay. This is where I'll be looking for buys, and this is where I'll be looking for sells on Euro USD. Okay, so you can see this high. This is an area of liquidity. It's an area of liquidity. There's a high probability they are coming for this high. We have a lot of buy orders at this high. We have a lot of buy orders at this high, and also they might fill this fair value gap. They might fill this fair value gap. We also have this fair value gap on EU. So these are good areas to consider selling. These are good areas to consider selling. Okay, let's move to the next pair. Let me see my GJ trade. What's happening on GJ? Let me see. Let me see what's happening on GJ. Wow, massive, massive, massive. 199.35. I need to close partials. That's massive. That's over 100 pips. Please, if you took this trade, please close partials. For those of you who are trading above 0.01 lot size, close partials. Don't be greedy. Don't be greedy. Don't come out from the river without water. Don't come out from the river without water. Close some profit, close profit, close profit. 70% of 0.1. Okay. 70%. Okay, let's move on. So GJ is still very bullish. GJ is still very bullish. GJ might come for this relative equal high. GJ might come for this relative equal high. Okay, GJ might come for this relative. But also, this will be the first target. This fair value gap will be the first target. If it breaks out from this level, then it's coming for this relative equal high. That's my target for GJ. But please close partials, close partials. By now you should have closed 70 to 80% of whatever profit you have made on GJ. Now price will just move directly to that to this area. Price might still retrace, we might see some pullback. Okay, we might see some pullback. See that's created fair value gap here, it might pull back. That's why you need to close some profits. Price will just go straight to that target. Okay, so just go straight to that target. So close some partials. It's my range. Okay, it's my range before it gets to this area. That's perfect. So that bet you want me to analyze? Okay, I think someone dropped Euro or C. Okay, Euro Aussie, that's from Ibuka. Okay, go. SAG silver. Silver, okay. So let's look at Euro Aussie. Euro Aussie. Euro Australian dollar. Euro Australian dollar should be bearish this morning. Euro Australian dollar should be bearish. Euro Australian dollar should be bearish. So let's start with the daily time frame. Wow. Wow. Euro Australian dollar. This morning they've swept the liquidity residing at this low, and there's a strong rejection from that area. There's a strong rejection from that level. Let's see what we have on 4-hour. Let's see. Wow, 4-hour is bullish. Still bullish. Well, I think on Euro USD, this relative equal low might be used as liquidity. This relative equal low might be used as liquidity. Okay, so let's go down to 1 hour. Let's see. So fair value gap, price just filled. You can see this fair value gap has been filled. So price could retrace from this fair value gap. You can see this gap has been filled. And after it filled this gap, we had a spinning top and engulfing candle. So price might retrace back to strip the liquidity residing at this low. Let me go down to 15 minutes. Let's see. Okay. So you can see what played out here. After price filled the fair value gap, you can see what played out here. After price filled the fair value gap, we had a bearish reversal pattern here. You can see at this point, there was an attempt to fill the fair value gap at this point, but they didn't fill the gap completely. So this was used as a trap for retail traders. This one, most retail traders that entered sell after the formation of this angry man and this candle that looks like a spinning top. Many retail traders that executed sell, and their stop losses would have been at the high of this candle. So what they've done this morning is to sweep the liquidity residing at this high, and you can see the pattern we had. This was an impulse move. You can see this was an impulse move, created a fair value gap, and now they have filled this fair value gap. If I'm going to take any trade on Euro Aussie right now, it will be a sell. You can see this pullback was to fill this fair value gap. Okay, this pullback was to fill this fair value gap. And if I decide to sell, so I'm not taking this trade, but if I want to risk this trade to be a sell, I'm going to sell from this point. My stop loss will be at this high, or let's say 5 pips above this high. This is 7876. The market is currently at 7876. The market is currently at 7860. That's about 16 pips. So you can just use 20 pips as your stop loss. 20 pips as your stop loss. Your take profit. You target this level as your first TP. Okay, and this as your second TP. That's my take on Euro Australian dollar. So if you want to sell, set your stop loss. Use like 20 pips as your stop loss. Your first TP should be at this level. Once the market gets to this first TP, okay, once the market gets to this first TP, you can bring your stop loss, adjust your stop loss to the high of this candle. Okay, adjust your stop loss to this level. After price gets to this, your first target. If you have any question or pair you want me to analyze, let me know in the comment section. Let me know. Silver, SH, USD. if I'm taking any risk on silver, what I have sell and not a buy. I can never buy from the current market price. I don't care where it's to. I can't buy from this place. For several weeks or months now, silver has been bullish. Several months, silver has been bullish. I think since the beginning of this year, silver has been bullish. So I can't take a buy on silver right now. I'd rather look for sell opportunity. Though the sell will be back, I'll prefer to go for the sell. Long term still looks bullish, but short term it's bearish. I'd rather go for the short term than the long term. So this is a sell. You can see the previous day candle closed as an hanging man. Previous day candle closed as an hanging man, and after the close of that previous day, yesterday candle, let's see what we had of our let's see what we had. So on 4 hour, you can see the pattern we had on 4 hour yesterday. We had it's like an hanging man. This was the last target. Yeah, hanging change in trend from bearish on bullish to what they did this morning was to sweep the liquidity residing at this high. That was the first thing they did this morning. The normal swing traders would have executed sell after the formation of this pattern. If you go down to 15 minutes time frame or 1 hour time frame, you can see we had several bearish reversal patterns. You can see we had a shooting star here, we had spinning top. So you see all these highs. The normal swing traders would have started selling from this point. After the formation of the spinning top, we had an hanging man. That is a bearish pattern. We also had a spinning top here, bearish spinning top. So most of the traders have executed sell, and their stop losses would have been the highs of all these candles. So the first thing they did this morning was to sweep the liquidity residing at that high. And after the formation of this shooting star, I'm sure a fair value gap was created on 15 minutes time frame or 5 minutes time frame. A fair value gap was created, and I think that's the reason for this buy you are seeing now. This buy is to come and fill. Let's see if they fill the fair value gap. The fair value gap here. I believe there's a fair value gap here. Let's go down to 5 minutes. There's a fair value gap that was created that price wants to fill. Yeah, you can see it. This fair value gap. That is the reason for the retracement. That is the reason for the retracement. This fair value gap is the reason for the retracement. I don't think they fill that gap. They've not filled that gap. So there's a high probability they will come and fill this gap. If they don't fill this gap, they're going to sweep this liquidity. They've not swept this liquidity. It's created this morning. They created the liquidity this morning. These highs. It's liquidity. They created it this morning. So they're going to sweep all these highs. Yeah, all these highs. They'll sweep it. They'll sweep all these highs. So if you want to sell silver, you don't take partial trades. You can take partial trades from this point instead of waiting for price to come and fill this fair value gap. If you're willing to take that risk, you could take partials. Okay, let's say you're trading with 0.02 lot size. You can go in with 0.01 while you're waiting for price to come and fill this fair value gap before you take execute more trade. So this is where you should look for. If you are selling, your stop loss should be at this high. Calculate your risk. Know your risk before you execute the trade. Your stop loss should be at this high. So calculate the risk. If it makes sense, if it's not too high for you, you can take partials, then wait up that price will go back to this so that you can add more trades. I hope that is clear. That's my take on silver. I would not advise that you buy silver from the current market price. UJ, okay. Good morning, Joro boy. UJ, okay. Please, if you took the GJ trade, close partials, I will give you guys a new price for stop loss. We need to adjust our stop loss. I will drop it after the class. Let's see USDJPY. USDJPY My bias for USJPY still remains bullish. I'm still very bullish on USJPY. Yen basket is weak, dollar is bullish. Yen basket is weak, yen basket is bearish, dollar is bullish. So you should look for buys on USDJPY. You should have entered buy after the close of yesterday. That would have been the best entry for USDJPY buy. So if you didn't buy from this point, you cannot buy from this point unless you want to lose that money. Unless you want to lose that money, you cannot buy from this point. If you didn't buy from where you should have entered. So if you have missed this move, just forget about UJ. If you want to take any risk, you should sell. Look for sell and not buy. Now, if you are selling, you are trading against the trend of the market, and it's very risky trading against the trend of the market. But you can still make some money trading against the trend of the market. You just have to know what you're doing. You just have to know what you're doing. You know that you're trading pullbacks, so you need to use a very close stops, and your TP shouldn't be high. Your TP, your reward should not be high. So let's go down to daily. Let's see how yesterday candle closed. So what have we done this morning? You can see we had a fair value gap here on UJ. You can see we had a fair value gap here. Price pulled back yesterday to fill that gap. And after filling that gap, the new most rated traders would have executed sell, because if you go down to lower time frame after the close of yesterday candle, you won't be able to identify a bearish reversal pattern. You can see the pattern we had here. This is an engulfing pattern on 4 hour. Let's see 1 hour. So you can see the pattern we had on 1 hour. So we had an engulfing pattern here on 1 hour also. Spinning top, engulfing. The normal rated traders have executed sell, and the stop losses will be residing at this high. As the first thing they did this morning was to sweep the liquidity residing at this high. They also created liquidity here. You can see created liquidity here, and what have they done? They've swept the liquidity residing at this previous high. So UJ is likely going to sell. Yeah, UJ is likely going to sell. Probably come for this low, this liquidity here. Likely going to come through this liquidity. It breaks out from that area. It's coming to fill this value gap. This would be a very good area to consider buying. This is a discount area. It's a discount area, so it should be a very good area to consider buying. So these are my areas of interest on UJ. Look for buy after liquidity residing at this point gets swept, or you look for buys from this zone. That's my take on USDJPY. That's my take on USDJPY. Any question? Any question? Any question? Any question? Have any question, let me know in the comment section. If there's any pair you want me to analyze, let me know in the comment section. Okay, let's look at gold. Let's just see what's happening on gold. Though I don't trade gold, I just like, to analyze the charts. I just love analyzing the charts. Okay, so my bias on gold also is bearish. My bias on gold is bearish. Gold has swept liquidity residing at the previous all-time high. It has swept that liquidity, swept all the liquidity residing at this high, swept everything. That's cleared. It has swept all the liquidity, so it's likely going to pull back. It will not be reasonable for one to buy gold at this price. Unless you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you are doing in the market. That's where you'll be buying gold from this point. You don't know what you're doing in the market. You cannot buy from this point. Look at where gold started buying. Massive buy. Gold has done over 2,000 pips from this point, and you want to buy from this point. You don't know what you're doing in the market. Okay, so yesterday was strongly bullish, and the high of yesterday was an area of liquidity that has been swept this morning. And the low of yesterday candle was sell side liquidity And the high of yesterday candle was the buy side liquidity. That liquidity has been swept this morning. That's the first thing they did. And see, they swept the liquidity. Okay, so you can also see on 4 hours, see what we had. On 4 hours, I think this was the last candle for yesterday market. So they swept the liquidity residing at the high of yesterday market, and it's high probability to sell. But if you want to risk selling, wait for the current 4-hour candle, wait for a bearish candle to close after this argument. So you need to wait for the current 4-hour candle to close before you sell. Wait for the current 4-hour candle. If it closes bearish, that will be a strong confirmation to sell. If it closes bearish, that will be a strong confirmation. You could also wait for price to close below this support. Okay, you could also wait for price to close below this support. This will be a very strong confirmation if it closes below the support, or the 4-hour candle closes bearish. So this will be a strong confirmation. So you could take partial entry, execute some trades if 4-hour candle closes bearish. Then if a candle breaks out from this support, you could add more trades. You could add more trades. So my bias for gold today is still bearish. My bias for gold is bearish. Any question? Any question? Is there any other pair you want me to analyze? Let me know. 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 I need to end the meeting so that I can go manage my trades. Any question? Any question? Any question? If you're here to join the community, do yourself a favor to join the community today. It's to your advantage. You have nothing to lose but all to gain. It's all to your benefits. You have nothing to lose. If you are still struggling to make profits consistently in the market, you should join the community. Join the community. You need it. You need it. Join the community. Join the community. There's so much you're going to learn. So much you're going to learn. So much. So I want to appreciate every one of you for your participation. Ebuka, Chichi, Joro Boy, I appreciate you all for your participation, and I wish you all a profitable trading day. Bye for now.